The morning was meant to be easy, cheerful, and full of friendly talk. But when Meghan Markle sat across from Al Roker on the Today Show, the air in the studio dropped a few degrees. What began as a simple celebrity chat turned into a sharp exchange between one of America's most trusted hosts and one of Britain's most talked-about royals. By the time the cameras stopped, everyone in the room knew they had witnessed a moment that would be remembered. It was a little after 8 in the morning at Rockefeller Plaza. Outside, fans waved signs and flags bundled in coats against the cool New York breeze. Inside, everything glowed with early morning warmth. Soft lights, fresh flowers, and the smell of coffee drifting through the air. Al straightened his notes, nodded to the floor manager, and smiled as the red light on the camera blinked on. Welcome back to Today. Joining us now, actress, advocate, and former Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. A few claps followed. Meghan entered with poise, dressed in an ivory blouse and a beige blazer, her hair falling in soft waves. Her smile looked perfect but practiced. "Good morning, Meghan," Al greeted warmly. "Great to have you here." "Thank you, Al," she said, crossing her legs neatly. Her tone was polite but sharp underneath. Al laughed lightly and leaned forward. "You've been busy. Public work, charity, advocacy. What's been most rewarding for you lately?" Meghan gave a faint smile. "It's funny when people call it a new chapter. My life didn't start when I left the UK. I've been doing real work long before that." The air shifted. Al nodded calmly. "Of course, I meant how things have changed since you moved back to the States. Viewers are curious how you and Harry are settling in." Meghan's smile tightened. "Settling? There's nothing to settle into when you can finally breathe. We're happy. People should stop assuming change means trouble." The quiet that followed carried tension. Al kept smiling. "That's good to hear. Family life suits you then?" "It does," Meghan said quickly. "The tabloids make up stories, but the truth is dull." "We're great." Her eyes lingered on him. Al chuckled softly, but the unease was clear. "Let's talk about your time in the UK," he said gently. "Looking back, do you have regrets?" Meghan's lips curved slightly. "Regrets? No, maybe they should. I made choices for my well-being, something people still can't grasp." Al gave a small nod. "You've spoken before about healing." "Healing doesn't mean reopening the past every time someone needs a headline," she said sharply. The studio went silent. Al stayed professional. "Let's shift for a moment. How's life in California?" Meghan relaxed a little. "California is home, the sunshine, the freedom. It's far better than some places." "Like England?" Al asked lightly. Meghan smirked. "You said it, not me." He laughed, trying to soften the edge. "Do you miss any part of royal life?" "Miss it? No one misses being controlled by old traditions. I prefer to create my own." Al smiled smoothly. "Any chance you'll return to acting?" Meghan gave a small laugh. "People love to ask that." "I've moved on. I'm not living in reruns." "Your fans would love it," Al said. "Fans are great," she interrupted, "as long as they know boundaries." "I'm not a character. I'm a person." "Of course," Al said softly. "We appreciate you being here." Meghan smiled faintly. "Some stories deserve to be told. Others just keep being told wrong." The music signaled a break. Meghan adjusted her blazer, her look steady and cold. The air was thick now, like before a storm. A producer whispered, "This is going to blow up." When the show returned, the tension stayed. Al straightened his tie, still calm. Meghan sat tall, every move careful. "Welcome back," Al began. "We're here with Meghan Markle, talking about her life after the royal family." "If by after you mean finally living my own life, then yes," she said coolly. "That's one way to put it," Al replied. "You've talked about freedom. What does that mean for you now?" "It means peace," she said. "Waking up without being told how to act or smile." Al nodded. "That sounds freeing. But some say media attention hasn't lessened. Maybe it's grown. How do you handle that?" Meghan gave a short laugh. "Handle it? I rise above it. People can talk. It doesn't define me." The tone was sharp, and Al could feel it. "You mentioned speculation," he said gently. "Many wonder about your marriage." "How are you and Harry?" "We're fine," she said. "People want drama. Sorry to disappoint. We're solid. We have a real marriage." "Good to hear," Al said. "There were rumors." Rumors are what the media does best, she cut in. That's why truth gets lost. The control room went still. Al smiled thinly. We give our guests space to clarify. That's why you're here. I'm not here to clear anything, she said firmly. I'm here so people hear me directly. Al nodded politely. Let's talk about your work. Podcasts, charities, documentaries. What's next? Meghan smiled slightly. Growth. I don't follow timelines. My work is about purpose, not profit. Another hidden jab. Speaking of purpose, Al said, you attended an event in London the same week as a royal one. Was that on purpose? You think I plan my life around their calendar? She asked, laughing. That's cute. People notice the overlap, Al said evenly. People notice everything, she replied. But I earned my place, Al asked quietly. Do you still speak to them? Meghan paused. Some relationships are better left alone. What about Kate and William? I'm not here to talk about people from my past, she said quickly. It's funny people care who I text. A few crew members chuckled awkwardly. Al smiled faintly but looked strained. Let's switch gears. How does life in America compare? Oh, it's incomparable, Meghan said with a smug smile. Freedom, creativity, diversity, it's better in every way. You're admired in the UK, too, Al added. Admired? She said with sarcasm. Try criticized. But sure, let's call it admiration. Al's smile barely held. One last question, he said. Would you ever act again? Meghan laughed. Acting? I think I've done enough of that for a lifetime. The words landed hard. Al looked at her calmly. That's an interesting answer. Honesty usually is, she said. Sometimes, Al replied softly, it's just unkind. For a moment, her expression cracked, then hardened again. I've never been one to sugarcoat. The producer signaled the end, but the energy wouldn't settle. They still had one segment left. When cameras rolled again, Al spoke carefully. We're live with Meghan Markle. You've often talked about your public image. Public image? She echoed. People think that's who I am. I don't need to be liked, Al. I just exist. Some wonder, Al continued, how you balance privacy with sharing so much publicly. Sharing isn't surrendering privacy, she said. It's owning my story. So it's empowerment? It is empowerment, she corrected. Women are told to be quiet. I won't play that part again. Critics say your projects feel defensive, Al said. Critics love to judge from couches, she replied. I don't owe them explanations. Silence filled the room. When you look back, Al asked, what stands out most from royal life? The performance, she said. It's theater. People wanted a fairy tale, not reality. You've said that before, Al replied. Did acting prepare you for that? No, she said dryly. Hollywood was honest. The palace wasn't. Do those expectations still shape you? I'm tired of labels, she said. Actress, duchess, villain, maybe just call me human. But don't you think some tension comes from how you respond? Al asked. You're saying honesty causes division? I'm saying delivery matters, Al said softly. So I should be softer? She challenged. I've tried that. It doesn't work. No one's asking you to smile, Al said, just to stay open. Respect goes both ways, Meghan shot back. Maybe the media should earn it. Our job is to ask questions, he said. Even tough ones. Sure, she replied coldly. As long as it's comfortable for you. Let's talk about Diana, Al said quietly. Do you feel connected to her legacy? Diana deserves peace, Meghan said sharply. I'm not her, Al. I only meant... You meant to create drama, she interrupted. I'm not your tragedy. Al sat back. You're right, he said softly. You're not her. But she listened. Sometimes courage is listening. Meghan's face softened for a moment. Maybe I'm just out of patience, she said. Patience isn't weakness, he replied. Or maybe it's complacency, she muttered. The tension filled the air. One more segment, a producer whispered. When the cameras came back, Meghan's voice was sharp. What shapes perception most is bias, and we've seen that today. Bias? Al asked. Every interview feels like a trap, she said. I came here to talk about my work, not recycled headlines. Viewers want honesty, Al said firmly. That's not bias. Transparency is just a fancy word for chasing clicks, she replied coldly. I'm not here to provoke, Al said. Then try listening, Meghan shot back. The temperature dropped. I have been, Al said, but I hear defensiveness. Oh, so now I'm defensive? She said. I call it challenging. You only want truth when it fits your side, Al said calmly. Meghan laughed bitterly. That's what happens when women speak up. You call it arrogance. Confidence and contempt aren't the same, Al replied. Maybe men like you shouldn't decide what confidence looks like, she snapped. And I didn't come here for arrogance, he said evenly. The silence cracked. Meghan stared at him. You're out of line, she said. And you're out of patience, he replied quietly. Meghan stood, unhooked her mic, and said, I think we're done here. Then she walked off. The echo of her heels filled the studio. Al turned back to the camera. Live TV can be unpredictable, he said. Every guest deserves respect, and that goes both ways. He paused. This was meant to be a conversation, not a confrontation. I hope we can all learn to really listen. The studio stayed frozen. We'll be right back, Al said softly. The screen faded to black. Meghan Markle had just walked out on live television, and the world was watching again,